Local powerhouse USC, and although he was a first-team All-American and led the Trojans to 2 straight Rose Bowls, they lost both games. But Seau never forgot what it meant to play in the big game. After being selected 5th pick overall by the Chargers,
right on, baby, there you go.
He immediately assumed leadership of the defense, carrying the franchise to its first Super Bowl appearance in 1994. But an embarrassing loss to the San Francisco 49ers ended the Chargers' dream and signaled an unexpected rebuilding period for the club. Seau considered playing elsewhere, but he signed a long-term contract last year, ensuring his career will end as a Charger. But can this local hero bring his team back to the promised land before his career ends? You come off the field in '94, this close to having it all. Did you think that the time between then and now would be a rebuilding period? You're so close, you figure, hey, next year we can get back. Things really changed for this club very quickly.
Well, Steve, when you look at the '94 season and we're in the Super Bowl and we kind of get waxed at the Super Bowl, and it was kind of embarrassing. But you look forward to the next year thinking that, you know, it's a year where you just add on to it. Obviously, we lost a lot of players via free agency or what have you. But we really didn't handle it well. And we were young going into the Super Bowl, and we were young coming out.
The pinnacle is winning the thing. Got to get there to experience it. Was the taste of it what you thought it would be?
It was a nice build-up, put it that way. But at the end, you look at it, it was one of the most embarrassing moments of our lives if you're a competitor. But at the same time, you know, getting there and making our ways through a lot of the, you know, skeptical, you know, with the ratings and everything else, we weren't even supposed to be there. So with that, you know, you can embrace that. But other than that, we have a lot of work to do.
You know, it's funny, off camera, we get to laugh a little bit when I see a guy your size. We talk to guys like Webster Slaughter, and I ask him about coming across the middle, and he says, it's something you got to do, but he goes about $1.75. When you see someone like that coming into your zone, you must think, yeah, come on in. Let's see what happens.
Well, see, hopefully they won't do that, you know, and they'll give you a lot of respect in not doing that. But sometimes, you know, they got a little wildness in them, and they try to come sneaking in there once in a while when they get a good blow, and then they think about it, and hopefully not again.
How much talking goes on the field? I know you're a pretty vocal guy. Are there reputations among teams, or is it players, or how do you really you come into a team and you know these guys are going to be doing a lot of talking on the field, these guys not so much?
Well, you know, the only way that they can get me talking is if, you know, they start talking about me and my players, obviously, and then I react accordingly. But mostly, there's not that much talking. There's a lot of checking in a situation of, you know, coverages, something that pertains to, you know, your position and your scheme. But other than that, you know, a guy that talks is a guy that's afraid. So once he opens his mouth, that's the guy that we want to go after.
And your vocalness is really on your side of the ball, directing people, helping out on your side of the ball, not so much directed at the other team.
No, I would never belittle any player in the league. I respect every player for what they do, and you know, it's a tough job to do, and I understand that, and therefore I would never say anything bad about a player.
I'm an opposing quarterback. I come to the line. I'm not necessarily reading the defense. I'm reading you. I have to know where you are. That's got to give you a certain sense of satisfaction.
It does. You work for it. Obviously, earlier in my year, I wasn't handed that responsibility. But when I do approach the field, I want them to worry about me. And if they don't, then I hope to make them pay.
What do you get the most satisfaction out of? I mean, you're supposed to plug the holes on a run. You know, 7, 8, 10 sacks a year, dropping into pass coverage. What gives you the most satisfaction that you're able to do?
Steve, winning. As you know, we won 4 games last year, and it was a miserable year for me, my family, I mean, the whole city of San Diego. Just winning. I mean, if it takes me to be the best decoy in the world where I can stand on one side and blitz the other, then be it. You know, I just want to win. And, you know, I've received so much individual accolades throughout my career, my years. I'm happy with that. What I need is a winning season, a winning year, and hopefully a ring.
I think the first word that comes to everyone's mind when they describe your career and the way you play is intensity. Mm-hmm. Is that good enough for you?
Well, whatever they have for me. I mean, at the end of the rainbow, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to say I did all I can, and I'm going to be able to walk away.
Well, Seau isn't only a man of steel, he's also one of the few Iron Men in the NFL, having missed only 1 game in 8.5 years. That's over 130 football games. And I'm sore after 9 holes of golf.
When we return, we'll get to winning only 4 games last season. The San Diego Chargers took highly touted Washington quarterback Ryan Leaf as their first pick in the NFL draft. Once Leaf was officially signed, that's when the hazing began, with Junior Seau appointing himself as the unofficial welcoming committee. First, he ran up a $3,000 dinner tab and then stuck Leaf with the bill. Later, Seau allegedly flattened Leaf in a preseason practice. Now, both actions were taken in stride by Leaf, earning him respect from both the team and Seau, although Leaf still hasn't learned to deal with the media all that well. So, of course, I asked Junior about the new kid in town. If there was a guy that needed to make Ryan Leaf feel comfortable on this team, you were the guy to do it, and you did it in kind of a unique way. You stuck him with a bill, and you stuck him on the field.
Not true. Not true.
Not true.
Not true. You know, there's always stories. You guys have probably heard it and plagiarized it along with the rest of the crew, but not true.
What really happened?
What really happened, he came in, you know, I need Ryan Leafs around, I need Natron Means around, and we went into a camp, and we went out and had fun. Other than that, there was no big deal.
Your relationship now with him is good.
It's always been good. It's always been good. And again, you know, I need the talent that Ryan Leaf brings to the team. I need the talent from all these players. You know, I'll embrace anyone that's going to help us win.
I think it's amazing to see a guy on the defensive side of the ball try to extend his leadership to a new kid that's going to have to lead this team. How far can he take you?
Well, I tell you what, we can only go as far as where Ryan Leaf is going to grow. Obviously, you know, with Ryan Leaf at the helm, he's going to have to lead us. And obviously, we're going to have to say, listen, let's protect this guy, do all we can to help him grow, because the quicker he grows, the better we're going to be.
And a lot of pressure on him. I mean, it would have been an easier situation for him if he comes into an established organization where they have a QB there that's going to play for the next 2 years. He learns the system in the background, plays when he has to. Maybe there's an injury. He's the man right now. How is he handling that?
He's handling it well. You know, for a young guy to come in and have a city on his shoulder and to have everything working out for him. I mean, obviously, you know, it's overwhelming for a lot of folks. For him, he's handling it with class, you know, number one. And I like the kid. The kid's enjoying himself, number one, and that's the first thing I told him to do is enjoy it. And then go out there and perform.
Did you need to take him under your wing, even though you're on the other side of the ball?
You need to just embrace talent. And whether it's a 1-year player, a 2-year player, a 10-year vet, whatever it takes, you know, I'm here to make sure that, you know, we come together and go on the field and try to win a game. Obviously, there's nothing to protect when you're 4-12, which we were last year.
9 years, 7 All-Pro years. How many more years for you?
Well, I'm gonna weigh it out, and you know, obviously there are going to be some, you know, downtime, and hopefully the downtime will be overshadowed by the good times. But you know, I'm not looking to end my career within the next 4 to 5 years.
When you're all done, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna be hopefully a broadcaster. I'd be someone like you know, asking these jocks to come over. Yeah, asking these jocks to come over and talk to me. You know, it's hard to do sometimes, but I respect it.
When you interview football players, you know that you're going to know the answers already to most of the questions that you're going to ask. You also know that there's no new questions, and that gets to be tough. Do you feel like you want to mess with the hassle of that?
Well, I'm pretty sure you felt the same way I do. I mean, obviously, it's something new to me, and as I study it and go with it, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to master it.
It's a new challenge in your life, and you try to get to the top of that.
Yeah, and then, you know, you do your homework, and you go and try to do the best you can, and if it's not good enough with the ratings, then you'll hear about it.
And you get to go do something else.
Yeah, you find something else to do.
After the Super Bowl in '94, you did a commercial with Steve Young. How much fun did you have with that? It
was great. You know, Steve's obviously a great guy, a good friend of mine off the field, and on the field, I hate his guts. But other than that, we had a good time with it, and it worked out well for us.
And he knows that you hate his guts when you're on the field. He can see it.
Yeah, we go after each other, and, you know, it's a competitive thing where, you know, we respect each other, but when it comes down to playing football, it's battle time.
Only a battle out there on the gridiron, and Seau has the scars to prove it. He's averaged a staggering 120 tackles per season with the Chargers. That's almost 7 a game.